Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on this Tuesday. Boy, oh boy, we have a great show for you. We're going to start off by delving into some art. And my next guest is going to describe just why art is so beneficial and how anybody can do it. I am joined by Sheryl Siddiqui. She is an artist and author. Sheryl, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. So let's talk about your background first of all, Sheryl. Tell me about your artistic background.
I've been an artist in Ottawa for over 20 years, if you can believe that, a mixed media artist. So I use absolutely everything, acrylic and markers and oil stick, and sky's the limit.
You name it, you'll grab it and make
as long
art
as
out
it's
of
fun.
it.
As long as it's fun.
You and I are going to get along just fine, Sheryl.
Yes.
That's exactly my rule of thumb for life in general. What was the inspiration? Like, were you always into art as a young person?
Yes, I think I always was, and then I got drawn back into it. I found it so relaxing and meditative, and I found that I got pulled back into it, and it just is exactly where my heart is.
I love it. We're going to talk about something called open-ended art. Tell me exactly what you mean by that.
Yes, so I love open-ended art, and I hope that I can share it with as many people as I can.
Okay.
Because it is something that absolutely anyone can do, because there's no finishing goal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not like we give you a picture and say you have to be able to do this. So you don't have to have any specific knowledge of art. Anyone can do it, from someone who's 5 or seniors. Actually, professional artists would benefit from it as well, because it helps you to loosen up your style. Anyone who's feeling creatively stuck would benefit from this. I do it all the time.
I'm feeling relaxed already, because I told you before the show, I'm not a good artist at all. And,
That's
because
perfect.
I have 2 really good artists in my family, so when I see what they can create, I get so intimidated. But you're going to show me today how I shouldn't be intimidated and just have some fun with it, right?
Exactly. I hope to share this with so many people as I go along.
Okay.
So I have a couple of techniques, and actually, I start with popsicle sticks, which I use all the time.
Okay.
So if you want to take a little bit of paint.
Should I put the gloves on?
You can put gloves on.
Okay,
I actually do use gloves a lot myself.
Ring off here. Okay.
I have some gloves in my pocket here. So you can put some paint on.
All right. Just on one of these pieces here?
And don't be shy. Put as much paint as you want, and pick any color you want. So
I don't know.
And
this could be dangerous.
The whole thing about it is you're not going to the store and buying the most expensive paint.
Really?
Yeah, you're just buying any color of paint. And if you can't afford to go to the art store, you can buy paint at the dollar store. That one in particular, I bought at the dollar store specifically to show people you can buy the paint anywhere.
It's a beautiful color. I love it.
Yeah, so you just buy what you like. That one's metallic. Once again, that paint is only $1.99. So this is for anyone. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with your parents, anybody.
Okay.
And what I like about scratching paint into, and this is just paper, this is acrylic paper, but I also use recycled paper bags.
Yeah, you were telling me. That's a great idea.
Do you go to, Farm Boy or wherever you go?
Yeah.
I just cut them in half.
Okay.
And I actually lay them down exactly like this on my work surface. And when I'm finished painting, I use all my extra paint, and I get it all on the surface, and these become part of my paintings.
That's a great idea.
You can also turn them into cards. You can do anything with them. But actually, the more paint, the better. The more you mark it up, put markers on it.
So some of those bigger pieces over there that you brought along, do they have some paper behind them too? That's the texture?
The big one with the flowers has some paper in the background.
Okay.
It's got glitter. It's got everything, because nobody's going to tell you what you can't put in your art, right?
I love it.
It's got, it even has gold leaf, everything. So.
Okay, so what? Just start.
Yeah, and actually, maybe you can grab me a
you want one of these?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So you really you can move it around, and actually you can mix the paint together.
I like that.
And once this dries, you can do it all over again on top, which is great, because you get a new layer, and that's how you get these really neat layered up pieces, which look fantastic. And hey, you can use both sides, which I do.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I think you've got some
you
great
can
color
cut them into
choices
shapes.
here.
You can do amazing things with them. Yeah, so I love that. I love not always using a brush. Now, so we don't want to run out of time.
Yeah.
One of our next best tips is to use your non-dominant hand.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we always think, okay, I'm right-handed, I have to use my right hand. Well, you can squeeze a bit of paint, and this is all about being an abundant artist, right? We're always saving paint, and you know what happens to that paint? You end up finding that you have all this old dried up paint, right? So I'm going to use my left hand.
Me too. All right.
And it's really, first of all, tons of fun. Secondly, you end up with all these unpredictable marks, and it ends up looking beautiful. This is perfect for professional artists as well, because they're always saying
that, because I guess it gets you out of that.
Gets you out of a funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating. I do it all the time in my own professional art as well.
So will you start with something like, you're giving these as an example, and then put it onto a canvas?
Yes.
And then, do the actual flowers on top of it?
Yes, but also doing this kind of art also just makes me a better artist. It helps me to relax. I also use these fantastic beeswax crayons. Oh my gosh, you can use regular crayons, but these beeswax crayons are smooth and buttery. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they remind, I thought they were pastels, but you're saying they're wax.
Absolutely just crayons.
Okay.
So take one out and honestly scribble. Oh my gosh, like you're a little kid.
Yeah, I love that.
I actually do flowers with them now and do all sorts of things. And they're really just crayons.
And you have some other techniques you want to talk about, like thin out paint, and I think something called dribble.
I've got thin out paint.
So what does that mean?
Basically, you can take any acrylic paint and you can add water, because acrylic paint is water-based.
Okay.
So I've got paint here, and I can take any brush that I want. I'll just take a new brush.
Yeah.
And I can drip it. I do this with all of my paintings. A lot of my paintings, when I think they're looking kind of boring,
right.
I'll take paint and I'll drip paint on it. Because I think, you know what? It just looks too perfect.
Yeah.
Because perfect isn't always great.
Well, none of us are perfect.
No,
but there's no perfect piece of art either in the world.
So I might have painted a flower painting, such as one of those flower paintings.
Right.
And if I think it just looks too perfect, I will drip paint. I will purposely drip paint on it.
I love your attitude. You have to tell me about this book, because you're a co-author in this book. There's quite a few that have contributed to it. Tell me about that book.
So there's 65 of us who have we're thought leaders, not just artists, actually.
Right.
And it's all about sparking creative thought. It is quite amazing. You can open this book to any page, and you're going to find some sort of creative idea from each of us. It's quite amazing.
Are you doing workshops? Like,
there actually is I have on my website, there is a free course right now. It's in its beta version for this this open-ended art, because I do want to share this with people.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I do have a Shopify website for my art. So.
Excellent. Tell everybody at home what your website is.
So it's www.SherylSiddiqui.com.
Excellent.
Yes.
Siddiqui, and we brought it, there it was, right up on screen, because it is spelt a little differently. Cheryl, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
It's a pleasure.
It was so much fun.
Hey, we'll be back with more Daytime right after this. Don't go anywhere.